My name is George, Crampton Glassanos. Foremost, I'm a San Franciscan. I grew up here in the Mission District my whole life.
This is how the old lettering looked on the street signs.
All caps.
Yeah.
I'm a painter, and among other things, pretty much anything to do with paint, I've done it.
Or you were painting somewhere and I came up.
You know, the art in the neighborhood has always been a big thing. There's always murals in the Mission, and they always told a story. And so growing up as a kid in the neighborhood, I always looked at those murals, and I got a lot of inspiration from all that.
My name is José Mejia. I was born and raised in the Mission District. I'm a retired accountant. I know George through mutual friends, but I was a fan of his work before I even knew George. I was going around taking pictures, and it just so happened to be George. Me and George just hang out, like casual friends hang out, and then he said, hey, I'm doing this, and I'll go with him and carry the paint, color, do some letters.
Resilience and the determination of the Chicanos in my neighborhood, the hardworking families, and the folks that came before us too, worked the fields, and all of that's a big inspiration to me. I'm a part of the ILWU Longshoremen, so that's kind of my day job. You know, painting the farm workers' bird and all the other stuff. I identify with it. I identify with the struggles they've been through. My union played a big part in supporting the farm workers through their previous strikes, and vice versa.
I'm gonna have
It's like old-timey saloon writing.
Yeah, I like that one.
We've gone through a lot of stuff in this city. You know, there's been longtime residents have seen everything, especially if you grew up in the Mission. So I think that the painting done by a lot of these artists tells a story of kind of what you've been through, and you can kind of tell. You know, I can tell from someone's art where they're coming from. I don't like using the term street art, because there's so much fucking street art that has nothing to do with the neighborhoods, and I feel like the whole street art thing's taken off, and it's different. It's taken away from the actual murals.
So these are like 7 murals in one wall.
So why do you use like the Chicano woman? Like, what does that symbolize to you?
For me, that was just is like for the neighborhood, the girl with the bullet belts, the chara, and the burning city behind her was kind of like a symbol of resistance.
When we see murals that reflect our micro subculture, like, oh, that's cool, yeah. The funny thing is, George's murals just stuck out because I'd see things that I recognized, things that related to me. And that's why I started taking pictures of it.
I draw a lot of inspiration and creativity just from my surroundings, being out on the street and being up early in the morning and driving on the freeway, and I'm inspired by the landscape of the city, and just creating keeps me going. Growing up in the Mission, it was a working class neighborhood when I was a kid, and it still is in certain aspects, but we went through the .com boom in the 90s, late 90s, and that really fucked shit up in the neighborhood, and our family was evicted. But this wasn't just happening to us, it was happening to everybody in the neighborhood. People were leaving in droves, They were selling their houses, they were getting kicked out of their apartments, their rentals. They were going East Bay cities like Antioch and Vallejo, And just, you know, growing up around all that shapes who you are as a person, and you start forming certain opinions for yourself about certain things. And I think that was kind of when I first woke up to like gentrification and you know, standing up for working class people.
The neighborhood in my lifetime has changed about four times. From the 70s, where it was still a lot of working class whites, Mexicans. 80s, a lot of people from Central America. 90s, the first wave of .com, more of the corporate side of .com. And then the 2000s, when you had tech. And then now when you have AI. So I've seen all the different ways.
At a young age, I got a hold of some underground comic books. Spain Rodriguez had a picture, a drawing of Mission Street, and it was like futuristic, and there were cars. And I think in some of my books early on as a kid were all like cars and trucks, and I don't know, I can't figure out why I'm addicted to painting them. I always say that I create my art for the kids and the older people, and people have been here a long time in the neighborhood. So I hope that by, you know, sharing something on a wall that I can inspire others.